Hey guys, so today we are going to be working on everyday math lesson 5.2, representing fractions. And for this lesson, you will be completing the everyday or the EdPuzzle, then the math boxes, the home link, and IXL V9. So we'll go through all of those when we get to it. I know a lot of you said that you are excited to learn about fractions. I love using our templates, our fraction circles, and we'll have a couple other tools that we'll use to help us learn about fractions. But starting off, our objective for today is I can represent fractions using standard notation, words, and drawings. So by the end of today, you should be able to show me a fraction in 3 different ways. All right, so mental math, you're going to solve the problems and do the multiplication. 2 times 5, you should have said 10. 2 times 6, you should have said 12. 2 times 7, you should have said 14. And 2 times 8, you should have said 16. All of these numbers have the factor 2, which means I'm going to double the other factor. So I know that anytime I have a factor of 2, I double the other number. All right, so looking at our fraction circles, the pink circle is the whole. You're going to show 1/3 of the pink circle, and we're going to be talking about what 1/3 means, what does the 3 mean, and what does the 1 mean. So as I'm looking at my fraction pieces, I have a pink one right here, and I need to show 1/3. So I'm going to go with my light blue and see if I can split this pink one into 3 equal pieces. And sure enough, the light blue covers that pink one up perfectly. So this is a whole piece. The pink is the whole piece, but I can split that whole piece into 3 equal pieces. So when I'm thinking about a fraction, I have a denominator, that's the number in the bottom, and the way that I always remember that is denominator starts with D, it is in the down spot, like down starts with D. If I'm talking about one of those 3 pieces, this is 1/3. So the top number tells me how many pieces I'm talking about or how many pieces I have. So this fraction circle is split into 3 equal pieces. I'm only eating one of those. If I was thinking about this as a pie, I'm eating one. So it is 1/3 of the whole. All right, we are going to look at how we can show 1/3 with others. So we're going to look at having a yellow piece as the whole, and we're going to split that whole into 3 equal pieces. So I'm going to leave this whole kind of off to the side, and now I have a yellow piece, and I need to find the pieces that cover up the yellow piece into 3 equal pieces. So I'm either going to do probably this green one, the light green, or maybe the purple. It just depends on which one's going to work. And sure enough, the light green cover up the yellow piece in 3 equal pieces. So again, I have 3 equal pieces in my whole. In that fraction, we have the denominator is the number of pieces. And if I'm looking at just one of those, my numerator becomes 1. So this is 1/3. So the thing with fractions is we just said this green piece is 1/3, but remember we also said the blue piece is 1/3. Are these the same size? Well, no, the blue is bigger than the green, but fractions are all based on the whole. So if the pink is my whole, it's bigger than the yellow. So my pieces are going to be bigger than what covers the yellow. So fractions, you have to know the whole in order to be able to solve and understand the fractions. So we're focusing on the whole. All right, we're going to move on to this little chart. This is basically what you guys are going to be doing on your own for your home link. And this chart is showing us the number of parts in a whole. It is showing us the words for that size. It is showing words. So this is when we write it out, we're showing the words for that part or for that fraction. Then we have the fraction circle, and then we have the number of the fraction for one part of the whole. So if I have two equal parts, and I'm looking at my circle as being the whole, my red circle is the whole, and I have two equal parts, we say that those are halves. Halves are the only ones that are a little bit different. They don't necessarily make sense. We're not going to call them 1/2s. They are 1/2. So my parts are halves. I read the number as 1/2. 1/2. I could say 1 out of 2 parts. So that is one way I could do it. Now, my fraction circle, if the whole is the whole circle, I split it into 2 equal parts. This is 1/2 and this is 1/2. Now, when I'm talking about writing it as a fraction, I just did, I have 2 equal parts, and I'm only talking about one of them. So I write it as a fraction, 1/2, 1/2. Same thing with thirds. So this is when I split my whole into 3 equal parts. I am splitting them into third or thirds. I can call it 1/3, write it as 1/3, or 1 out of 3 equal parts. When I write it as a fraction, I'm talking about 1 part out of 3. So this is 1/3, this is 1/3, and then this is 1/3 as well. I have 3 1/3s. Same thing for fourths. We call them fourths. If I'm talking about one piece of the whole, 1/4, 1/4, 1 out of 4. If I write it as a fraction, I'm going to have 4 pieces, and I'm only talking about 1. So this is 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4 as well. Moving on to sixth, we call them sixth. We add this TH at the end to make it 6. It's not 1/6, it's 6. Sixth. So we say 1/6, 2/6, 1 out of 6 equal parts. I write it as a fraction, 1 part out of 6, and then I can label them 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, and 1/6. There are 6 equal parts in that whole circle. Moving to 8, we've got eighths, 1/8, 1/8, 1 out of 8 equal parts. There are 8 pieces in this whole circle. If I'm looking at having one of those pieces, I'm going to have 1 piece out of my 8. Now, a lot of times, students will want to write the fraction like this. They will think about their fraction, and let's say, for example, we're using this orange, and I'm looking at it, and I can see that I have 3 equal parts. Well, if I have one that I'm going to take away, a lot of people will write, a lot of students will write 1, and then they're looking at it and they're like, well, I have 2 left, so then I have 2. This is not right. It's not how many are left, but rather how many there were to make the whole, or total. So one of these pieces is one of my 3 whole pieces that make the whole. So this is 1/3, not 1/2. So that is one of the things that I see often. Make sure you're not looking at how many are left, but rather how many are in the whole. Okay, so we're going to cover the red circle with yellow pieces and count the fourths. We're going to need to think about what does the 4 mean, what does the 1 mean. So I've got my whole red circle here, and I'm covering it with the yellow pieces. And when I cover it, it covers up that red whole circle perfectly. And I want to look at how many pieces are in the whole. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces in the whole. That means my circle is split into fourths. I can write fourths like this. Now, if I'm looking at just this piece, it is one of those pieces, so I would say 1/4. I could write it out like 1/4. And maybe yes, just one of them, 1/4. We look at this and we can say 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. When we count those together, this is 1/4. Put 2 of them together makes 2/4. I have 2/4. 3 of them together will make 3/4. And then when I have all 4 of them together, it makes 4/4. I write 4/4 like this, 4/4. So I can say 4/4. The 4 tells me that there are 4 pieces. If I'm looking at the 1, that means I'm talking about one of those pieces. If I know there are 4 pieces in the whole, and I'm talking about all 4 pieces, then I am making one whole circle. We write it like this. Anytime you have the numerator and the denominator that are the same, that equals one whole. Okay, you guys are going to turn in your book to Math Journal, page 154. And we're going to be looking at the picture, writing the words, and then the number sentences. So remember, this is our goal. We're writing the picture is going to be there. Then we have to write the words, and then looking at the number sentence for what is there. So number 1, or the example in this one, I can see that the pink is the whole. So I have the pink. The pink is divided into 1, 2, 3 equal pieces. 2 of them are blue. So we write the words as 2/3 because there's 2 blue ones, but it is out of the whole thing, there are 3 parts. I would write that as 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 2/3. We're going to do the next ones together. Okay. In this one, the whole is the orange piece. So this is my whole. I'm looking at how many pieces are in this whole. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 equal pieces, or it is cut into fourths. Now I need to know how many of them are green. Well, 1, 2, 3 are green. So we write it as 3 greens, 3/4. I can write it as a fraction number sentence by saying 1 of my fourths plus 1 of my fourths plus 1 of my fourths equals 3/4. My fraction matches the words, which matches my picture. Okay, looking at number 2. This time the whole is the yellow piece. Now, I don't see the yellow piece at all, so that means the whole thing is covered. How many pieces are covering the yellow one? 1, 2, 3. So again, I have thirds because there are 3 whole pieces. Well, how many of them are green? Well, there's 3 of them that are green. So my number sentence is 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. That equals 3/3. And remember I said 3/3 makes 1 whole. This yellow, the whole yellow is covered up. All right, number 3 gets a little bit trickier. The pink piece is the whole. I have 1, 2, 3. Some of you might say this is 4 pieces, but this is wrong. Remember, fractions always have to have 4 equal pieces. So rather than counting that last part as 1 whole piece, we have to think about dividing it. And so on this one, this side is equal to this side. So this side has 3, the other side will have 3 as well. So when I look at this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal pieces. So this is going to be 6ths. How many of them are green? 1, 2, 3 are green. So we're going to call this 3/6. This green is one of my 6, so I'm going to go 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, and that means I have 3/6. We have to be able to write the fraction, write it in words, and draw a picture. Okay, the last one, number 4. The red is the whole thing. This red is the whole thing. And it looks like this one's a little bit messed up. For some reason, I don't have anything colored. So we should have, oh, it's not messed up. We have to color it. So I have 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 equals 5/8. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 whole pieces. So that's why we have 8ths. Now, I'm going to take 5 of those. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my fraction here matches a picture. I'm going to need to write it as words. 5/8 in words. You are going to be doing this assignment, this activity, pretty much the same, close to the same in your math journal book. When you get to the IXL, remember you are doing V9, and I want you to at least get an 80. This will help you with your practicing of your fraction circles. So you've got IXL, you've got HomeLink, you've got your math journal. All of those things need to be completed for today, and we will continue working on fractions.